Democrat sedition. Call on military to defy Trump. Civil war is coming from Tim Pool. Don't forget to smash that like button and get subscribed if you're new around here. It's free to subscribe, free to unsubscribe later if you also choose to do that. And let's go.
Several years ago, I read an article that I believe was in the Atlantic that discussed the probability of civil war in these United States. They had interviewed several national security experts, and they gave wide-ranging answers from 30% to a guarantee. Overall, the general assessment...
Anybody who ever gives you 100% chance of something that's like, I don't know when, but this is going to happen, they're just talking out their ass. There's no way they 100% know anything.
I think it was 70, 80% that within the next 10 years, and again, this is like 2019, I think, there would be a civil war in this country. I thought it was interesting. And considering the street violence that we had seen and the fact that Donald Trump was accused of being a Russian spy controlling our government, seemed like they weren't completely wrong.
And then all of a sudden that wound up being a Democrat hoax, that there was the Democrats that were actually the ones colluding with Russia. Oops! They colluded with Russia and Ukraine, for that matter, because there's several people who are making fuckloads of money in Ukraine due to the war who are in the U.S.
It was strange, though, because this conflict had just emerged in the past couple of years at the time. Since then, several articles, I should say shortly after many more articles emerged, more conversations had been had. And as I had talked about this prospect, many people thought I was nuts. They called me crazy, but the truth is, I'm not going to pretend like everybody thought I was crazy. A lot of people watch my show. We get millions of viewers. And I think we have about 4 million unique audience members across the board. We get substantially more views than that, but those are the raw numbers. And people watch more than one video. And so as the years went on and the violence escalated and the chaos seemed to just get worse, more and more people came to agree that there was a very serious potential for civil war in this country. Today, we've had numerous polls showing a majority of Americans believe that it is likely. The most current poll, 57%.
Yeah, and I don't know why so many Americans think it's that. I mean, if it's all Republicans who are thinking there will be a civil war, that one's understandable. Because significantly, firearm count, Republicans outnumber Democrats. That is just a fact. Republicans own more guns than Democrats. And I bet you Republicans overall, maybe not overwhelmingly, but more of them than Democrats, are actually ones who not only buy the firearms, but also they go and shoot them regularly, so they have experience with them.
Now, the more terrifying reality of this is that if you remove the boomer generation, the silent and the boomer generation, the likelihood jumps substantially.
Well, yeah, because all of them are so old, they don't even care anymore. They're like, I'm almost dead anyway. It doesn't matter to me. So, yeah, I would exclude those people anyway. And I would say if a civil war does break out, literally, we will have groups of people you can target. People that are your own age. People that are under 50. It's like, if that's the age we're looking for, we gotta get the old white Karens out. The feminists who aren't really feminists but anti-men, those ones need to go. Most of the most of the T community, the LGBT, will disperse and see whose side they align with. But the T community, I would say at least 85% or more. X.
Younger generations are more likely to believe that a civil war is coming. Ladies and gentlemen, let me just stress that this story that is emerging may be one of the most horrifying that I have seen in a long time. You may be wondering what this image I have on screen is. It is part of a campaign to create factions within the military to defy Donald Trump and foment civil war or a military coup. I'm not exaggerating.
Yeah, that's exactly what those 6 Democrat Congress people did. They 100% were trying to cause division in the military.
To hammer everything looks like a nail. But for what purpose have been Democrats calling on people to, quote, pick an effing side? That's a senator from Connecticut.
We're all on the same side. We're on the American side. That's the thing. These Democrats are trying to divide us because they're so scared of losing their power, losing their edge, losing their ability to get into power and stay there for their whole life, or get into their power, make a fuckload of money, and then get out and never have to worry about actually doing anything positive for the country ever again.
Who said that? For what purpose have Democrats been calling all of Trump's orders illegal, dictatorial, fascistic, and then calling on servicemen and women to defy the chain of command? This makes no sense.
Those are 100% seditious actions. They should be tried as such. And I would like to see them executed, because that's what our founding fathers would have done. Our founding fathers wouldn't have put up with this shit. They would have immediately quelled a lot of what is happening. If it's no big deal the National Guard were deployed to our city streets and not doing anything but picking up trash, why do Democrats pretend to care? Yeah, literally. The Democrats would have been much better in a campaign of going out and taking pictures of the National Guard picking up trash and going, look, they're wasting your tax dollars on garbage, on turning them into garbage men. Look, they're just cleaning up garbage. You should tell your president to recall them and send them back to not have them just picking up trash, sweeping the streets. It's like, you would have done much better with those kind of numbers rather than what you did, which was get 2 National Guardsmen killed, or at least 1, and 1 is fighting for his life. Last I heard, he was still alive, but like barely couldn't, he like was able to give a thumbs up, and that's about it. But I don't have high hopes for it. I like I said, I wish him the best, and I wish his family that they don't wind up with an empty seat at the Thanksgiving table next year, because one family already did, and well, it's not just theirs. I lost one of my grandpas the day before Thanksgiving, so we had an empty seat at the table too. So I do know how it feels, but in a completely different way. Completely different way. Here's the story. These billboards have been popping up reportedly across the country. It says, did you go airborne just to pull security for ICE? Not what you signed up for.org. This is illegal. It is a crime. I'm not exaggerating nor being cute. I have the law pulled up. This is an effort to foment factions within the military ranks. To foment fear. So that they defy the chain of command. Yeah. The Secretary of War or the President himself. I'm going to show you exactly. Yeah, this is exactly what it is. I wish they would be less obvious about it. They are literally just trying to find another point to say, I want to fight Trump. I got to fight Trump. Like, seriously, the Democrats have one track mind right now, and that's fight Trump. What are they going to do when Trump's out of office? What are they going to do? That's the thing. I don't necessarily want a country that is ruled by one singular party, because eventually that one party will get lazy and will be overthrown by the other one. And if they're mad and unhappy, they might just start going scorched earth on a bunch of stuff that really needs to stay in place. Where this goes, we're going to pull up this website, but I need to say this right now. If Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth and the DOJ do not go after these people that are putting up these messages, this is the biggest, the most impactful escalation towards civil war we have ever seen. Yes. In our generation. In our history as a country, this will be a civil war that makes the initial one for slavery. It'll make that look like a fucking battle. It'll make it look like an argument between toddlers. The new one, the bloodshed will be insane. The country is more divided than ever. And, you know, you got Democrats who, on one side, the liberal side, who are just like, oh, if you don't agree with me full-hearty, I don't like you. And then you've got the moderates in the Republican side who is like, yeah, if you don't exactly agree with me, sure, we agree mostly, so we get along. Come join me. And one side has Jesus, so I don't know what the other side's got. A group of Islamic Muslims who want to fuck 9-year-olds. Is that what they have?
The fact that there are nonprofits being funded with billboard campaigns instructing our men and women in uniform to defy the chain of command. And I'm not gonna be cute with you guys. We know the intention. They're not explicitly saying, hey, don't do it, but you don't get to play this wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Here's the billboard. You can see it. Let's visit their website. Notwhatyousiguedupfor.org. And it says, not what you signed up for. You saw the billboard. You have questions. You're not alone.
Yeah, my questions is, why are the people who are paying for this billboard trying to start a civil war?
Here are proactive steps
that they'll lose.
Take to reduce risk. Be sure to access resource from a personal device, not a military or government computer, email account, phone, or Wi-Fi network. Use an encrypted Proton Mail email account. Use the Signal app for encrypted texts and calls. Use a VPN. They then go...
Yeah, this is literally just telling them, hey, we don't want you to talk to your commanders-in-chief. We don't want you to listen to them anymore. You're going to come listen to us instead. This is an attempt at a military coup. If it is not stopped, the Democrat senators and congressmen will tear our country apart from the inside out, starting with the military.
Go on to add that they have support resources. Now, you may be saying, Tim, hold on, explain what's going on. How this is illegal? Yes.
This is 100% illegal.
I'll just ask you this, and let's start a conversation in the comments. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Maybe you're waiting around for that turkey to finish. For what reason would a website titled Not What You Signed Up For be instructing people to obfuscate their communications?
Yeah, you should be using the communications that you are given.
Illegal or incriminating. If
exactly.
You are instructing members of the military or individuals in our government with clearance to utilize communications for the purpose of backroom discussions related to their missions, to classified information, brother, you're committing a crime.
Yeah. I mean, this is the same thing as, a pedophile on Roblox finding a kid and saying, hey, let's go over to a different app and chat over there, okay? Let's not chat on Roblox. Let's chat on Discord. Let's not chat on Roblox. Here's my signal. And, yeah, this is the same level of fucking degeneracy. This is the same level, except instead of being pedophiles, they are wanting to take over the government by military force by getting, at least half of the soldiers on their side so that they hopefully have a better numbers. They need to cut this out because it's illegal, and I really do think Trump needs to put the Insurrection Act on every single one of these 6 congressmen who have done this, and they need to be tried, and if found guilty, put to death.
There's nothing wrong with...
This needs to be put down now. Otherwise, the problem will become worse.
Saying, make sure you're using personal devices, encrypted devices. Context matters. And the context of this is, quote, not what you signed up for. Well, I tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. When you sign up for the mission you are given.
Yeah, you sign up to join the military, and in those papers, there's one in there that says, I will follow all the orders of my commander-in-chief. By the way, your commander-in-chief is the fucking president, so you signed orders to follow the orders of him. If you really didn't want to, I'm sure there's a way you can back out. I'm sure there's a way before missions start. Like today, you can be like, hey, I came in, but I don't get along with the current administration. I'm going to be a liability to your missions. You don't want me here, and then they will kick your ass out.
Certainly, if there's an illegal order, you didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, but every order that has been given has been legal.
Illegal orders. So if you're in the military and you were given an order and you say, I didn't sign up for this, they say it's a lawful order and you did. So when you make the argument that the lawful orders Trump has given you, it's not what you signed up for, and someone is then instructing you how to engage in backroom conversations to protect you, there's two factors here. One, the explicit purpose of this site is to instruct, or it is to induce disloyalty and a breaking of morale, which is a crime. I have the law. I'll read it for you in a second. In that context, telling people, here's how you can obfuscate your criminal actions.
Also, by the way, this first block here that says, be sure to access resources from a personal device, I would say 99% of the military people that I've spoken with and talked to and have seen other videos online about, 99% of them, I believe, that other 1% maybe just, they didn't mention anything about it, but most of them all will say, yeah, no, if the government gives you a device to use for work-related things, as they would call it, aka anything to do with your military job, guess what? You are only to use that device for it. You are not to use your personal device. Using your personal device is a national security threat, and it can get you kicked out of the military. So don't do that first one. Don't do that first one.
The question really just comes down to the judges. This country is being ripped apart, my friends. The liberals are going to argue it's not illegal to instruct someone to use encrypted communications. I would argue if the purpose of that instruction is in furtherance of another crime, it certainly is, particularly as it pertains to 18 U.S.C. 2387, activities affecting armed forces generally, which states, whoever with intent to interfere with, impair, or influence the loyalty, morale, or discipline of the military or naval force of the United States, 1, advises, counsels, urges, or in any manner causes or attempts to cause insubordination.
I believe this is exactly that.
Disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal of duty by any member of the military or naval force of the United States, or distributes or attempts to distribute any written or printed matter which advises, counsels, or urges insubordination.
And I believe it's doing that.
Disloyalty, mutiny, or refusal of duty by any member of the military or naval force of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 10 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or by any department or agency thereof for 5 years.
So yeah, the next 15 years, they won't be able to work for the government anymore. I think that should be a great one. And I also think they should all be disallowed from receiving any government pensions, even if they've already hit their amounts that they would have needed. At this point, I think these actions revert that.
Next, following his conviction. For the purpose of this section, the term military naval forces of the United States includes the Army of the United States, the Navy, Air Force, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, Navy Reserve, Marine Corps Reserve, Coast Guard, Reserve of the United States, and when any merchant vessel is commissioned in the Navy.
And they didn't label Space Force in there, but Space Force is commonly lumped in with the Air Force.
Or is in service of the Army or the Navy, includes the master, officers, and crew of such vessel. Now, the question, I suppose, is they're going to say, I don't see, is National Guard listed in there? The important point is, we're not talking about
National Guard, I believe, is bundled with Army in this case.
National Guard. Marines were deployed for security reasons. Protective principle, they called it. This is a general call for all members of the military. This is explicit. This is overt.
Yeah, this is literally them.
And
if they were trying to do the textbook definition, step-by-step play of sedition, they did it perfectly, I will say. They left every shred of evidence there. They have it all as a digital trail, and they did use their own faces for their messaging. They have screwed themselves. All it needs is the Justice Department to do something about it. We cannot let people be above the law. If the Justice Department does it, the people need to do justice next.
List, or you get a commission. You signed up for the mission given to you. And there's a reason why you must obey lawful orders. because everybody's got thoughts and opinions. But if everybody sat down and said, hold on, I don't know about all this, we'd never get the job done. This country would be in harm's way every day. Two things
He's
are happening.
right.
Not
He's
what you
right.
signed up for is calling someone to question their loyalty and to be insubordinate or to break their morale. Saying you are not alone further encourages that insubordination. They're saying, don't worry, we'll work with you on this one. And there's only one reason why they would then instruct armed services personnel to utilize encrypted communications in this context, because there's criminal exposure for both of them.
Yeah. If you're asking servicemen to use a encrypted messaging service so that they can talk to their other service buddies and go, hey, I got this mission and it doesn't sound like it's right. All of a sudden, now you could be putting that singular mission in jeopardy in everybody's life who goes on it. And that goes for any mission anywhere around the world, even just simple deployments of guard to different cities, which need the help because their mayors and governors are incompetent.
This exists. This is shocking. So, my friends, think about where we are and what time it is. The Democrats have been saying, and the liberal pundits, for Trump's entire first year of his second term, his orders are illegal.
Yeah, they keep doing things like this.
Then a man comes up with a revolver and ambushes two guardsmen in D.C., reportedly screaming.
Yeah, and that man, remember, he drove from Washington State to Washington, D.C. That's like 2,300 miles. He drove for nearly 30 hours and still went and chose to do these things. If a man can do that, think of someone who's local. If they all of a sudden feel, oh, these guys that are actually here, they're following illegal orders. And they've been lumped in with being called the Gestapo like ICE. There could be someone who actually goes and looks up Gestapo, realizes, oh, that was Hitler's army, and then they think, oh, the media is telling me these guys are like Hitler's army. Yeah, they're gonna want to go out and kill them.
Allahu Akbar. I think motivation may be more tied to the designation of the Muslim Brotherhood as terrorists. Not
too.
Certain cells of the Muslim Brotherhood.
I'm not Islamophobic. I just want everyone who follows it to be killed, essentially. Because if you're... here's my opinion on Islam. If you're a man voluntarily following it, you're secretly a pedophile who just wants a legal way to fuck kids. And if you're a woman, you're absolutely retarded. That's what I think.
It's a coincidence that we're at this point. Democrats then made a video, which you all know about, where they said to military members, do not follow illegal orders. This tweedledee BS ain't going to play. I'm not playing stupid games, my friends. We all know the intention. One person says, hey, what Trump is doing is illegal, in my opinion. The Democrat lawmaker then says, you must disobey illegal orders.
Yeah.
If you are a member of the military that only gets your news from MSNBC, CNN, or just doesn't pay attention, you've heard over and over again what Trump is doing is illegal. Then the Democrats remind you.
And if you're getting your news exclusively from a site like that, from one news source, if in this decade even, anywhere to 5 years ago, 5 years from now, 10 years ago, 10 years from now even, if you are getting your news from only one source, you're a retard.
You are legally required to disobey illegal orders. Then NGOs set up a communications hub for you to obfuscate communications specifically for the purpose of defying the chain of command and defying your orders. I don't see an off-ramp, guys.
Yeah.
Let's think about the potential scenarios. The DOJ goes after these NGOs, arrests them. Members of the military who have been engaging in this seditious conspiracy, insubordination, get arrested, charged. They get discharged, removed. Factions form.
I will say, if they go start arresting the people who were ordering these illegal actions, that I would say that's where it should. That's where it would probably have to stop. If all of a sudden you make news media put these things out, don't stop inviting the news that lies to certain events. Stop inviting them places. MSNBC lies, CNN lies. Let's stop inviting them into the White House press pool. Let's revoke their status. It's not a right to be in there. It's a privilege. It's a privilege to be able to be trusted by tons of people and to give them information. It's a privilege to do that, not a right. And in fact, that right, that privilege, or that right that you think you have to do that, that can just be taken at any time by the people who go, oh, I don't want to listen to you anymore. Bye. That's my right. See ya. And then they'll move on to another news. Or maybe they'll go, independent journalists like Nick Shirley. He's done fantastic work, I would say, across this nation and other countries too. He's all around the world, just popping up here and there and there and there and there. And he's just like going around. What's this about? What are we doing here? What's going on? And he just asks. He talks to people. He does a great job. Unlike people from CNN who you get to the end and they go, oh yeah, they probably are doing this. And it's like, you don't know that they're doing that. You just said probably, which is because you didn't talk to anybody. You are doing opinionated journalism, not factual journalism.
Where you end up with, I'm going to say it, guys, National Guard, they live in these areas. In California, and I said it before, but I warn you again. When the state of California finally makes that move and they say to the National Guard in California, the governor has instructed you no, Trump's orders don't apply. It doesn't matter what the courts say. Let's say Supreme Court says National Guard is under Trump's command. Gavin Newsom then says, no, you obey me. These guardsmen are going to be thinking about, look, I work in LA.
Yeah, they're going to be thinking, whose side do I want to be on at this point? Am I going to be on the side of the people who I am standing next to every day, the people I walk by? They're going to be thinking that. And then and I hope they all realize they're being lied to.
I work in San Francisco. They can take my life from me. They can take my home from me. I have a family. I have kids. The question is my country or my home, and I choose my home. And that is the famous line from 1861. My country or my home. I believe it was Lee. I should always double check. It was a Confederate general. See if I can get a quick response on this one. It's looking like I won't, but I'll continue with my point while this thing struggles to load.
Now, I wonder if he went and asked AI for this or he went to Google. Because I would have just gone to Google to type my search in there, like a normal person still does. AI shouldn't be your go-to for simple questions. AI should be something for, like, if you're trying to fit a certain amount of things in the backspace of a car, like if you got a certain size backpack and you're wondering, how many of these can I fit in this trunk? Or if I put this in there and this thing in there, how much space will I have left? That's the questions AI should be able to help you with, is because it can go and find all the dimensions for you of every little crevice and corner in that trunk, and it can help you out. I'm just giving one example that I have seen used before.
Most often attributed to Robert E. Lee. He's paraphrased, I shall never bear arms against my home. My loyalty is to Virginia. I cannot raise my hand against my birthplace, my home. It's sometimes summarized to my country or my home, because he made it clear that his country was not the federal union. Indeed. I thought it was Lee. I went to, we got all that stuff around here where we live, these museums. They are actively working right now. Guys, this is the surface. Okay? Understand, this is the surface. This is a billboard. Let me pull this. I'm gonna pull up a Simpsons reference for you guys, so you can.
Oh,
understand
did
what
they
we're dealing
predict
with.
another one?
Here you go. I have to do it. It's funny.
Please don't get me a copyright.
Is it gonna? Let's see if I can get the sound. I will unmute it.
You have recruiting ads on TV. Why do you need subliminal messages?
It's a three-pronged attack. Subliminal, liminal, and superliminal.
Superliminal?
I'll show you. Hey, you! Join the Navy! Yeah, all right.
I'm in.
Well, now that you know, Lisa, I'm afraid I can't let you leave.
Now, I don't want to get copyrighted, so I hope... Okay, he's ending the clip there. Oh,
Classic
good.
show. Always one of the best. But now that
Honestly, never was a Simpsons guy. I did some of the earlier Family Guys, but I really enjoyed American Dad over the three. But anyways, that's not what we're talking about.
we had a little humor into your Thanksgiving Day as we're talking about these horrifying things, this is the point. This is the superliminal. This is the, we are going to tell you outright we are fomenting discord in your armed forces. But don't think for a minute there is no liminal and subliminal. They have been going on shows, the liberal pundits, they have been saying it over and over again to sow discontent. Trump's orders are illegal. They're illegal. They're illegal.
They're not illegal orders.
Don't follow illegal orders. Trump's orders are all legal.
Every
It-
order
it's
he's
not
made
even
has
crazy,
been
to be
legal.
honest.
I mean, if Trump's orders are illegal, then every single missile that Obama sent to drone strike things, that was illegal. If what Trump is doing is illegal, then every single thing Obama did there was illegal. Killing Osama bin Laden was illegal. Like, that's the same level of the orders that Trump is giving. Trump is defending cities, defending the other agencies that need some extra help because they have people actively targeting them.
Deploying National Guard to walk around and pick up trash, it's called the protective principle.
And yeah, you could have made the guardsmen just look like glorified trashmen if you really wanted to have a good campaign. These Democrats are fucking stupid.
The Marines can do it too. It's been in place for decades. Worse things have happened. We had Kent State, where National Guard fired on people, killing people. You want to talk about illegal orders? They are doing this to rip our country apart. If Hegseth, Trump, the DOJ don't put a stop to this and put the boot down now,
There will be a civil war. I 100% agree, and I think that's where we'll be leaving this one today. I hope you have enjoyed. Smash the like button and get subscribed, because I think we've covered everything I care to cover. I don't really care for the rest of it. We've done enough. I think we're retreading ground at this point. But anyways, I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.